Hi there, my name is Raj Singh. I am the Secretary for the National Democratic Party, and today I'm doing this video on a topic which I think is seldom looked at in current political discourse, and that is the subject of further education. Um, we actually have, according to the latest 2025 statistics, 1 million NEETs, that is, not in education, employment, or training, who are the ages of 16 to 24 in the UK. 1 million. These are people, young people, who should be at the beginning of their career, beginning of their working lives, learning valuable skills that will that's their future, but not only their future, but the country's future. It's vital that we train people for the economy and technological progression. But in the last 12 years, we've seen 1.2 million less people in further education per annum on average. It was actually 3 million in 2014, and it's dropped to 1.8 million now. I mean, that's a pretty shocking statistic there. Within the space of 12 years, a 1.2 million drop in people in further education is it's incredible. So what's happened? Why are so few people now in further education or vocational apprenticeship training? I think, as with most of these issues that we face in society today, it's neoliberal policies that have been the death knell of traditional vocational training in Britain. Stemming from the Thatcher and Major years, all the way till present day, and it's only getting worse. So in 1992, the Further and Higher Education Act was introduced, and what this did effectively was it turned further ed from a publicly owned local government provision, and it took those institutions and it privatized them. So private further education institutes that had been created effectively operated within a market. They weren't a public provision. So they started to, of course, compete for funding and pupils and so on. So what you got was a marketization of education. So it's not about giving people the best education. It becomes about making money. And so profit becomes way more important than teaching, which is quite shocking, quite sad, really. Okay, so we had the Further Education Act. And then, of course, there's the lack of general investment. In 2011, the government actually spent 3.2 billion in further education. So this is 15 years ago. You just adjust that for inflation, and that's 4.1 billion. In 2025, they spent 2.5 billion. I mean, that is a 1.6 billion cut to education, further education, in the last 15 years. It's pretty damning. In 2017, there was a really huge blow to apprenticeships that was seldom talked about. It was the so-called apprenticeship levy. And the gist of it was, because of underinvestment, what the government had to do was they had to effectively force employers to pay for apprenticeships. So what this meant was they large employers, I think, operating at profits of 3 million or more, had to spend or put in 0.5% of their profit to this levy, this national levy, and they had about 24 months. I think that the law's changed now, but how it was back then was they had 24 months to spend that money or lose it in apprenticeship training. And of course, the goal was to offset or to offload, I should say, the provision for the funding to the private sector. What actually happened was these employers started to look at apprenticeships as a capital asset rather than an opportunity to develop and build the next generation of employees up. So what they did was they totally slashed entry-level courses and just focused on upskilling their own people, putting people on management courses and so on. And because of this policy, we've seen 170,000 less students on average per annum in the last 12 years. So 2014 till now, we have 170,000 less apprentices starting and finishing a course. So it's it writes itself, doesn't it? It's privatization and putting the faith in the employer to train people. It's just not going to happen. Ultimately, profit for them comes before any long-term thinking, and that's a contradiction of the system that we live in. So the solution is clear: it's public investment. Companies will always look at short-term profits over long-term development and long-term thinking. It's up to the government, it's up to the state to think about investing, not just in its economy, not just in the future of the economy, but fundamentally we're investing in people. We're investing in the future, we're investing in our in the next generation of people, and to give them the best possible opportunities in life. So what is the solution? As I mentioned, as I'm going with this, it's pretty clear. It's public ownership. It's large investment. It's bringing those provisions back to public, to the local government control. We've seen that trend where companies will, use these kinds of government forced devices on them to try and upskill their own people. But okay, well, we can lean into that. We can use that. That apprenticeship levy could be used solely for upskilling existing employees, and that could be a great way to develop people maybe later on in their career. All sorts of things can be done, but fundamentally, it's about do you invest in people? Do you care about the future? And do you want to build a society where everybody is participating and everybody's a productive and valued member of society? And of course, this is what the National Democratic Party advocates for. So thank you for listening. If you'd like to learn more about this, I've included the links to our Facebook page and our website, where you can look at some of our policies and get in contact with us. So yeah, thank you for listening, and see you next time.